We are Social Blade.
Previously, we've spoken here on the Social Blade Show and have discussed a time or two on how to deal with criticism in social media. And after reading an article by Driven Media, they reflected 4 points that could save you from being in hot water. I have to say I tend to agree with 3, but not the 4th, and I'll share the 3 with you that I agree with. So if something happens, and I'm just kind of washing the dig conversation off a little bit here because we kind of transferred really quickly into this, but
it's called
respond quickly. So
the
it's called like, here, Aaron, bam, go. So if you receive a negative comment, and this applies to whether you're in business or personal, so keep this in mind. It's not just businesses. So respond quickly if someone leaves a negative comment, whether it's on Twitter, Facebook, and make sure, of course, it's not a troll, which for those who may not know what a troll is, and I'm sure with the mass majority of people in this room, they do. But if you don't, a troll is somebody who just writes something or puts a link that has nothing to do with you or relevant to what you do. So, don't be haste about it. And you want to be quick, but you don't want to be haste, and you want to take a moment to think about your wording. So, and of course, your tone, especially when you're writing in text. Number 2, be willing to change. So sometimes it can be hard. I can agree with that, to not become defensive when someone maybe, in fact, sharing a negative opinion or a thought about what you may be working on or about your business. However, it's so important when responding, you need to think long term, not for that short moment and that short fused moment, but long term, and make sure that you are willing to change and keep an open mind. This may also cause you to actually have to follow through. So don't just say you're going to change, do it. And we've said that before here on the Social Blade Show.
Do it.
Number 3, I think, is very important, and we agree with, don't we? Do not argue. Arguing on social networks is not fun. So at no point whatsoever should you argue with someone who has left you a negative comment. This does not mean you cannot express your opinion, especially on your personal profile, but you are treading a fine line when it comes to your business profile. So simply think solution instead of thinking about arguing. Think solution. And number 4, the 4th one is what I don't agree with, and I do want to hear your feedback, guys, on this. So number 4, they suggested for you to actually use humor. Now, why I disagree personally is because, for business, number 1, even if someone in a personal situation were to use humor, so no matter business or personal for humor, my best advice would be to steer clear of humor when someone takes the time to actually put a negative comment on your profile, whether it is, again, for personal or business. And that's simply because you should take them seriously. You should value their opinion and not make a joke out of it. And sometimes, especially through text, your way of humor may not be the same type of humor as the next. So take them seriously and do what you can to help fix the issue. Now, we've I'm like so diggish right now. We reiterated some of these steps to help you think outside the Facebook and Twitter box. The more social media leaks into your offline lives, which we do tend to see more of each day, the more that we say online starts to matter. So people that are using social networks to find out what other people are like and using them in situations to even rent housing or hire an employee, this should already be a standard way of responding to clients or people who have liked your pages or follow you in a business aspect, since the chances of you doing anything else offline would probably be slim to none. So just remember that as we become more social, the less private we will be, and other people will be looking into your social networks to see who you really are. Now, again, do we think that humor is a good way to respond to a negative comment, as well as, is there any other tips that we can give when criticism arises?
I definitely think humor is a horrible one.
Really?
Because you can't take context or read context really well in text, especially if it's on Facebook or Twitter. But I think a tip that I would add would be ask questions. So if someone's criticizing you, I would offer up your solution, like what you think you should do to improve, but then also ask them, say, hey, what do you think we should do to improve? Or here's what I think we should do to improve. What do you think of that? You know, so not only that, but you're also engaging that person in, you know, trying to find a solution to, you know, improve your business or yourself.
The only thing I would say, humor, yeah, okay, if it's really something that is a valid comment, then yeah, being humorous isn't necessarily a good thing. But if it's something that someone's just trolling you with, I think being humorous and responding to that is actually a good idea, at least in my opinion.
Bridget, I want to hear what Bridget.
You know,
say.
I actually disagree with. Well, I disagree with the act quickly, because I think that sometimes people don't think before they actually do stuff on. So, you know, when I'm teaching people about Twitter, think before you tweet. Sometimes you're reactionary rather than really looking at it. And I did like what Jeff said. You need to ask questions. You need to find out why the person actually made that comment. Doing a little research on why somebody is making a negative comment. Do they make a lot of negative comments? Is it a valid point? I'm always impressed with companies that go that extra mile. You see it on Yelp all the time. A company will get a bad review, but then they contact the person and say, you know, come back in. Well, you'll get better service, we're sorry, or try the product again. And then the person goes back and gives them a better review. And then on the humor side, it really depends on your company. It depends on you. Some people use humor really well, and I think sometimes it can diffuse a situation. And then sometimes it's inappropriate, but that's just a judgment call.
Exactly, that's what I was trying to say.
Yeah, and to kind of build off of what she was saying is sometimes when, you know, customers or other people see a negative review or a negative comment, and then you reaching out to fix that, I mean, that is almost better than, you know, a good comment or a good, you know, review.
Absolutely.
Invading the internet, covering Web 2.0, coast to coast, worldwide, and everywhere in between. This is where you put the social in social media. We are Social Blade.